The board requested that we clearly outline how this plan supports our students facing the greatest challenges, including African American students, economically disadvantaged students, those with IEPs and 504 plans, as well as English language learners. At PPS, we know that equity isn't a standalone program, it's a practice. We're approaching equity in student support through 4 core strategies that will guide every transition and decision. These strategies ensure that while facilities may change, the quality of support remains consistent and student-centered. These 4 strategies include guaranteeing service continuity. Every student will maintain their required supports, including IEP, 504, and ELD services when moving to a new school. Staff will coordinate to ensure these services start immediately. PPS is also expanding ELD regional centers to bring instruction closer to families, reduce travel, and provide consistent support with certified staff in every region. Enhanced translation and interpretation services will ensure all families stay informed and engaged in their child's education. Stabilizing relationships. PPS will continue prioritizing relationships by keeping familiar staff with students whenever possible to maintain trust and continuity. The district is also strengthening partnerships with organizations like the Allegheny County Department of Human Services, out-of-school time providers, and behavioral health partners agencies to support students' overall well-being through services such as counseling, food access, and mentorship. Intentional communication. We will ensure families are fully informed and supported through translated ADA accessible welcome packets and regular updates via multiple communication channels. Each family will have a dedicated contact person for assistance, ensuring clear, accurate, and timely information, especially for English language learners, students with disabilities, and families new to the district. Cultural and symbolic supports. Transitions can be emotional for students. To help them feel a sense of belonging, receiving schools will organize walk the route activities, open houses, and social emotional learning activities to help students connect with their new peers and teachers. Transition days and special after-school events will mark the beginning of a unified school community. These symbolic gestures send a powerful message. Students are not outsiders moving from one building to another. They are valued members of their new school family. Equity remains at the heart of all facility transitions, and we are carefully designing support to protect continuity of services for our most vulnerable populations. The first layer of accountability and action focuses on students with IEPs. Program officers and school-based case managers will use centralized service logs to verify that every IEP's related service, such as speech therapy, occupational therapy, and counseling, are delivered. Regular progress reviews at schools include structured IEP progress monitoring meetings 30 to 60 days after transitioning for identified students to address any needed services and adjust support promptly. The PSE department will conduct ongoing audits of IEP timelines and documentation to maintain alignment with federal and state mandates, ensuring full compliance and accountability. Service delivery data will be cross-referenced with attendance, climate, and achievement indicators on the Students First dashboard to flag early concerns. This means that accountability will live both in data and in practice. The second layer of accountability and action focuses on supporting students beyond academics and prioritizing emotional and behavioral stability. Counselors and social workers will increase check-ins during the first few weeks of transition to support emotional adjustment and coping. Each receiving school will include structured spaces that promote self-regulation and reflection in the form of calming and sensory spaces. Board-certified behavior analysts will be available to support staff, co-design proactive, culturally responsive behavior support plans, and embed needed supports in daily routines. Lastly, behavioral interventions will align with multi-tiered systems of support and social-emotional learning frameworks for consistency across classrooms. These systems ensure that our schools are emotionally ready, not just physically ready for every student. Family communication, engagement, and partnership are essential to successful transitions. As required, all IEP-related documents and notices will be available in families' preferred languages with interpretation support provided for meetings. Educational assistants and interpreters will ensure that families with English language learners and students with disabilities can actively participate in decision-making. Prior to reconfiguration, IEP teams will meet to review each student's IEP goals, discuss anticipated changes, and co-develop plans for continuity and transition support. Family surveys and advisory sessions will inform ongoing improvements to service delivery, ensuring accountability and responsiveness. We want every family to feel informed, heard, and confident in that their child's needs are supported. By embedding accessibility and inclusion at every step, PPS ensures that no family faces transitions alone or uninformed. Pittsburgh Public Schools acknowledges historical disparities affecting African American students in special education, including over-identification in certain disability categories and under-identification for gifted programs, reflecting systemic bias rather than student ability. To confront the persistent racial disparities in identification, placement, and access to enrichment for African American students with disabilities, PPS will monitor identification patterns by race and disability category to ensure fair and accurate evaluations. The district will provide bias mitigation training for all evaluators to reduce disproportionality and collaborate with the Office of Equity and Equity Advisory Panel to align corrective actions with the district's accountability systems. We will expand access to advanced coursework and enrichment opportunities for acceleration as well as support. Finally, we will integrate culturally responsive practices into specially designed instruction and behavioral supports. Through these actions, African American students will have equitable access to support, enrichment, and opportunities to reach their fullest potential. Under the current Pittsburgh Gifted Center model, the inequities in access are deeply rooted in the under-identification or exclusion of African American, low-income, multilingual, and exceptional students. The new school-embedded gifted model integrates gifted education into the core instructional program, no longer a separate track. Every PPS second grader completes the Universal Gifted Screener, comparing students to peers within their own school to ensure equitable identification. There will be multiple entry points. Integration with MTSS allows ongoing identification based on emerging or domain-specific strengths. Certified gifted teachers and liaisons will deliver gifted services in students' home schools, eliminating barriers and promoting inclusion. Teachers receive training on bias-free identification and culturally responsive enrichment to ensure advanced learning opportunities for all. Here's how the implementation will roll out over the next 3 years. In year one, the district will continue the universal screener with all second graders, begin training gifted teachers and liaisons on equitable identification and instruction, and send gifted liaisons to historically under-identified schools. In year two, the full implementation of the in-school gifted model will include transition to school-embedded model with gifted educators in every K-5 and 6-8 school, integrating the identification into MTSS with multiple review points each year, and releasing the first public equity dashboard showing gifted participation. In year three, the expansion and refinement of this model will extend enrichment opportunities to all students, increase targeted support for exceptional learners, and provide school leaders with training on building equitable, gifted, and talented pipelines. This timeline strategically reflects steady, sustainable growth toward true equity in gifted education. Our English learner population is growing, and ELD centers must grow too in order to provide the proper accommodations. As a result, the ELD centers will increase and now include Northview, Schiller, Langley, Classical, West Liberty, Carmalt, Liberty, Dilworth, and Weil. Equitable access to ELD services will be achieved through a comprehensive school-based approach that strengthens instruction, staffing, and support systems, which includes accurate identification and placement for all new English learners. School-based ELD teachers, so students can have access to core subjects through embedded ELD content teachers. The district's program, Lingua Pittsburgh ESL Certification Pathway, will provide content teachers the space to pursue ESL certification. 7 new roles were created to provide additional content area support. Family nights, school tours, and partnerships with Casa San Jose, the Latino Community Center, JFCS, and Arise to foster belonging and cultural responsiveness in wraparound services.